Hello, my friends. I'm Dr. Cynthia Thurlow. As a nurse practitioner and metabolic health expert, I've spent years studying what truly causes stubborn belly fat, especially in people over the age of 50. You may have noticed that your waistline doesn't respond the way it used to. You eat a little less, walk a little more, but somehow that extra padding around the belly just won't budge. It's frustrating. It can feel like your own body is working against you. But here's the truth. It's not just about calories or willpower. It's about the type of food you eat and how it affects your hormones, metabolism, and even the way your body stores fat. Today, I want to walk you through the 6 most dangerous foods that contribute to deep belly fat. This isn't the pinchable fat you feel under the skin. I'm talking about visceral fat, the kind that builds up around your organs. It's linked to heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and even certain cancers. So if you're ready to stop guessing and start healing from the inside out, let's get started with the first belly fat building food you should watch out for. 1. Refined carbohydrates. If you've ever felt bloated after eating white bread, pastries, or sugary cereals, there's a reason. Refined carbohydrates are one of the biggest contributors to belly fat. These foods are stripped of their natural fiber and nutrients. What's left is a high glycemic food that spikes your blood sugar and insulin. And when insulin goes up, fat storage follows closely behind. But the danger isn't just in the calories. It's in what these foods do to your metabolism over time. When your body is constantly flooded with glucose, it can't keep up. Eventually, you develop insulin resistance, a condition where your cells stop responding properly to insulin. And where does all that extra glucose go? It gets stored as fat, especially around your belly. I've seen this time and time again in my patients. A woman in her 60s came to me confused. She ate small portions, avoided sweets, but she had toast every morning and a sandwich every afternoon. Her waistline kept growing, and she didn't know why. Once we removed the refined carbs and replaced them with high-fiber whole foods like quinoa, lentils, and leafy greens, her energy came back, and her belly started shrinking. So ask yourself, what's really hiding in your bread box? Even so-called healthy breads labeled multi-grain or wheat can be deceiving. If the first ingredient is enriched flour, or if it contains added sugars, it's not helping you. It's feeding your belly fat. 2. Sweetened beverages. This one might surprise you. Most people think, I don't eat that much sugar, but they forget what they drink. Sweetened beverages are one of the sneakiest contributors to belly fat, and that includes sodas, fruit juices, sweetened iced teas, energy drinks, and yes, even those healthy smoothies sold in plastic bottles. Here's the problem. Liquid sugar goes straight into your bloodstream. There's no fiber to slow it down, no protein or fat to balance it. Your liver gets overwhelmed by the sugar load, especially fructose, which is often used in drinks. What happens next? The liver turns it into fat, and a large portion of that fat gets stored right around your abdominal organs. I once had a patient, a gentleman in his early 70s, who drank orange juice with every meal. He believed it was part of a healthy breakfast. When I showed him that his favorite juice contained as much sugar as a can of soda, he was stunned. We replaced his juice with water infused with lemon or cucumber and added a morning smoothie made with spinach, unsweetened almond milk, and half a green apple. In just 6 weeks, his blood sugar improved and his pants fit better. It's not about cutting everything out. It's about replacing what doesn't serve you with what nourishes you. So next time you reach for a drink, ask yourself, does this hydrate me or harm me? Water, herbal tea, or naturally flavored sparkling water are all great alternatives. They support your body's detox process rather than overload it. 3. Refined carbohydrates. Refined carbohydrates are one of the most common culprits behind belly fat. yet they often go unnoticed in daily meals. White bread, white rice, most breakfast cereals, pastries, and even some so-called low-fat snack bars fall into this category. These foods are stripped of their fiber and nutrients, which means they digest quickly and spike your blood sugar. Here's what happens when you eat them. The body gets a rush of glucose, your blood sugar goes up fast, and insulin steps in to bring it back down. But when this happens too often, your body becomes less sensitive to insulin, making it harder to keep blood sugar stable. This leads to fat being stored, especially around the belly. I often compare refined carbs to kindling in a fire. They burn hot and fast, giving you quick energy but leaving you hungry again soon after. That hunger cycle pushes people to eat more, and over time this contributes to weight gain and insulin resistance. One of my patients, a lovely woman in her late 60s, used to start her day with toast, jam, and coffee. By mid-morning, she was hungry again. We made a simple swap. She started eating a boiled egg, a few berries, and half an avocado with a sprinkle of sea salt. Not only did her cravings disappear, but her energy stayed consistent through the day. The goal is not to fear all carbs, but to be mindful about the type. Choose whole grains like quinoa, oats, or barley. These digest more slowly and provide your body with lasting energy and important nutrients. 4. Alcohol. Now let's talk about something that's deeply embedded in social life, especially as we age. A glass of wine with dinner, a cocktail with friends, or a cold beer on a warm evening. While small amounts of alcohol may feel harmless, the truth is that regular alcohol consumption plays a significant role in belly fat accumulation. You've probably heard the term beer belly before. It's not just a casual phrase. Alcohol contains empty calories, meaning it offers energy with no nutrients. What's worse, these calories are often stored as fat, and the belly is one of the body's favorite storage sites. But that's not all. Alcohol disrupts your liver function. The liver, which is essential for metabolizing fats and toxins, shifts its focus to processing alcohol instead. As a result, fat metabolism slows down, and fat starts to build up, especially in the abdominal area. Another problem is the way alcohol affects decision-making and appetite. After a few drinks, you're more likely to make poor food choices, chips, pizza, dessert, and since alcohol lowers your inhibitions and stimulates appetite, it's easy to overeat without even realizing it. Now, I'm not saying you must give up alcohol completely. For many, it's about moderation and timing. Instead of nightly drinks, save that glass of red wine for a weekend treat, and try to avoid drinking alcohol on an empty stomach. A small protein-rich meal before a drink can slow alcohol absorption and help stabilize blood sugar. In my practice, I've seen patients who simply cut back to 1 or 2 drinks per week and noticed measurable differences in belly circumference and sleep quality. Better sleep, better metabolism, and better control over cravings. It's all connected. 5. Fruit juices and smoothies. Now this one might come as a surprise, especially for those of you who have swapped out soda for a tall glass of orange juice or started your mornings with a smoothie full of fruit. While fruits themselves are incredibly healthy in moderation, their concentrated forms like fruit juices and even some smoothies can sneakily contribute to belly fat. Let's look at what happens when you drink fruit juice. Unlike whole fruits, which contain fiber that slows down the absorption of sugar, juices are stripped of that fiber. What you're left with is a quick infusion of fructose, a natural sugar that hits your bloodstream fast. Your liver is the first organ to respond, and when it gets too much fructose too quickly, it starts converting it into fat. Much of that fat ends up right in your abdominal area. Now, if you're thinking, but it's natural sugar, I understand. That's a common thought. However, the body doesn't differentiate much between processed sugars and large doses of natural sugar when consumed rapidly. and most commercial fruit juices contain more sugar than soda. Even 100% natural juice can deliver 20 to 30 grams of sugar per glass. Smoothies can be a little trickier. A smoothie made at home with leafy greens, unsweetened almond milk, and half a banana is completely different from a store-bought version with frozen yogurt, mango, honey, and added protein powder. Those can contain 500 calories or more and a sugar load that rivals a milkshake. So, what's the solution? It's not about avoiding fruit altogether. It's about being smart with how you consume it. Eat whole fruits with the skin on when possible. Apples, berries, and pears are great options. They give you natural sweetness along with fiber, vitamins, and hydration. If you love smoothies, make them yourself. Keep the fruit to one portion. Add leafy greens like spinach and balance it with a healthy fat like chia seeds or almond butter. And if you're craving juice, try infusing water with citrus slices or herbs like mint. You get the flavor without the sugar spike. In my work, I've seen countless people drop inches from their waist just by trading in their daily juice for water or herbal tea. It might seem like a small step, but it has a powerful effect over time. 6. Alcohol. This last one is probably something you already suspected, but it's worth diving deeper into. Alcohol, especially when consumed regularly or in larger amounts, is one of the most common contributors to stubborn belly fat, particularly in women over 50. Now, I know that a glass of wine with dinner or a social drink with friends can feel like a well-earned reward, and in moderation, it may not cause much harm. But when alcohol becomes a frequent companion, especially in the evening, it can sabotage your health in more ways than one. Let's talk about what alcohol does in your body. First, it is metabolized by your liver. But unlike proteins or carbs, your body cannot store alcohol, so it gives priority to breaking it down. That means everything else, especially fat metabolism, gets put on pause. While your body is busy clearing the alcohol, it's not burning the fat from that dinner you just had. Then there's the issue of what kind of fat gets stored. Alcohol promotes the accumulation of visceral fat, the kind that wraps around your organs and sits deep in your abdomen. This type of fat is linked to inflammation, hormonal imbalance, and a higher risk of heart disease and insulin resistance. And what about the calories? Alcohol itself is calorie-dense, with 7 calories per gram. That's nearly as much as fat. But it doesn't make you feel full. In fact, it can stimulate appetite, lower inhibitions, and lead to overeating, especially of salty or fatty foods. So one glass can easily turn into a few glasses and a plate of snacks you didn't really plan to eat. Even light beers and so-called low-carb cocktails can add up. A few drinks a week might not seem like much, but they could be the hidden reason your belly fat isn't budging, even when you're eating clean the rest of the time. So what's the healthy path forward? You don't necessarily have to give up alcohol completely, but being mindful about how often and how much you drink makes all the difference. I often suggest alcohol-free days during the week, and when you do enjoy a drink, pair it with food, go for smaller portions, and hydrate well before and after. Some of my patients have switched to herbal teas or infused waters in the evening and found they sleep better, have more energy, and notice a real difference in their waistline within weeks. So as we wrap up this journey through the 6 hidden belly fat culprits, it's clear that small, consistent changes can lead to powerful results. Closing thoughts from Dr. Cynthia Thurlow. We've just walked through 6 of the most silent and sneaky contributors to stubborn belly fat. Not the ones most people expect, not always the cookies and cakes, but the everyday foods and habits that slowly and quietly disrupt your metabolism, throw off your hormones, and store fat in the places that matter most, deep in your belly. Let me remind you, Refined carbs like white bread and pasta may seem innocent, but they trigger insulin spikes that signal your body to store fat. Sugary drinks do more than add calories. They confuse your hunger signals and encourage your liver to pack on visceral fat. Trans fats, often found in margarine or packaged snacks, don't just hang out in your belly. They lead to inflammation that affects every part of your health. Processed meats bring hidden risks, from sodium to preservatives, that harm your metabolism and your digestive system. Fried foods offer that satisfying crunch, but they weigh your gut down with oxidized oils and empty calories. And alcohol, even in moderate amounts, can quietly block fat burning and promote storage around the waist. Now, I know this might sound overwhelming, but here's the truth I share with every patient who walks into my office. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. You don't need to be perfect. You need to begin. Start by choosing one change this week. Maybe swap out white bread for sprouted grain or sourdough. Try sparkling water with lemon instead of soda. Read the label on your favorite snack and see what's hiding in the ingredients. Small steps build momentum, and that momentum builds confidence. And confidence, that changes everything. Your body is always listening. It's always trying to heal. When you give it the right tools, the right food, hydration, movement, and sleep, it responds, no matter your age. To all of my beautiful women and wise men over 55 who are watching, I want you to know that stubborn belly fat is not a life sentence. It is a signal that something needs your attention. And when you respond with nourishment instead of punishment, your body rewards you with strength, energy, and peace of mind. If you found this video helpful, please click the like button and let me know in the comments which food or habit surprised you the most. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a video that could transform your health for the better. Stay informed, stay nourished, and I'll see you in the next one.